We're Haven City Church, a spiritual community that loves Jesus, preaches the gospel, and lives like missionaries in our everyday lives.
All right. My name is Sly, and I am the young adults group pastor at Sugar Creek. I wanted to be a rapper before I was a Christian. Yeah, so the way we heard about Baltimore is through our missions pastor, Don Waybright, a great man of God, and just desires to see God work and move in all areas, in all places. He had asked me a couple years ago, like, hey, we're thinking about doing these trips to Baltimore. We're going to scope it out. Would you like to go with us? And I'm like, sure. I mean, why not? And so came a couple of years ago and met, Josh, Derek, Nick, Zuki. We met the whole entire squad. We just jumped right on into their kind of regular systems of what they did, and so food distribution was nothing like it was today. Friday, we did burgers and Bibles, and we went to Perkins, and we were just kind of all over the place, just kind of doing life with them. We helped them kind of set up for church on Sunday and things like that. And so that's kind of where I've heard about Baltimore, but our church has always had this heavy emphasis on missions and just being people of mission. I think I heard it said once, like, that a person who doesn't share their faith, like, are they really even, Christian, and so we want to be people that are continually sharing our faith. I think a couple things that has really changed is, so obviously we come from kind of the traditional Southern mega church. It was a good reminder to come to a place like Haven City and just be reminded of, like, ministries have done very, very different. One up north, and then in a culture, kind of like a pre-Christian culture, if you will. It's done very, very different, and there's a lot of things that we take for granted at home. And just to be able to come and meet with the few believers and see their faithfulness and their heart and their desire to continue to go, where sometimes back at home you don't see that sometimes to get anybody just to sign up to help or help take down some stuff, it's like, nah, I gotta go, I gotta do homework and things like that. But just to be encouraged to see just like the whole entire body of Christ just jump right on in and get their hands dirty and messy, it was just a beautiful thing to see. I really enjoyed that, and that's probably one of my favorite parts. There's a moment where we had this big old, it's taller than me, box of chips, and so, well, of course I'm not that tall, so don't be that impressed. And so we got all the chips and we like tilted it down to points, but we just got to the point where we were just handing up, and we had a line from like one end all the way to the bag, and just it was like our team with the group from Haven City, just kind of making sure we clear out that whole entire box of chips. And so it was just really cool to kind of just see this all hands on deck mentality. That again you kind of miss kind of being in a bigger church. And so it really reminded me of kind of what the church is, what the church should do, what it means to be a church member, versus kind of sometimes just the hustle and bustle of a big church.
Describe Baltimore in one word.
One word. Hope. I think the best way to describe this hope is like there's hope for this city, and with churches like Haven City and starting to see some of the partners that they're making now within the city, there's hope. Like God is doing some amazing things. And I came almost 2 years ago, pre-COVID, and they were just getting started, and they were talking about like these future plans that they had, and then to come 2 years and see those plans actualize it and even go above and beyond than what they were even telling us at that time. There's hope. I think God is trying to do a wonderful thing in the city of Baltimore, and using churches like Haven City is amazing to see and kind of watch. The goal is to come back. We would love to try to come back. More people with us in the summer. I know there's some plans of a bigger summer trip and doing some kind of different things out for the community, more than it already does. Right? Everybody knows Haven City for food distribution, things like that, but try to bring like an arts festival and things like that. And so we're planning and we're dreaming and we're praying, but if everything goes okay, hopefully to be back around summertime. one thing I would encourage you with is pray for Baltimore. Pray for Baltimore and pray for Bible-believing, Jesus-loving churches like Haven City. Be praying for them as they're ministering to the city. And there's a lot of darkness in the city. I just remember, again, like one of the things that completely broke my heart is when we did some of these tours and some of these places and seeing these homes completely shut down and closed, and then these people displaced. Like, that's heartbreaking, just like losing your home. And then second, if you can kind of make it out and come and hang out with this crew, man, they'd love to use you and put you to work for a week, but I think it'd be very ministering to your heart and to your soul.